do it? No. What's up? It's me, Salish. We interrupt our regular scheduled programming for an episode about love. What's up? It's me, Salish. Okay, last week I talked about Justin Guarini, Prince Charming of Once Upon a One More Time. This week I'm talking about my real life Prince Charming, Andrew Weiss. Okay, so go on the journey with me. Andrew and I are experiencing our 1 year anniversary. I cannot even believe it's already been a year. Let me tell you, I love this man. Okay, it's story time. The year was 2021. It was still in the middle of the pandemic. I was on Zoom, he was on Zoom. I was talking for the Broadway Podcast Network for this event called Podfest. We shared a screen on Zoom for all of 2 minutes tops. That is how we met. He followed me on Instagram. I followed him back. Game over! He somehow convinced me to go on a first date with him. And he was like, come to Oregon for 4 days and let's just see if we like each other. And I did. Day one, I was like, he forgot my name. Day two, I was like, day three, I was like, I have to dump all my boyfriends. Oh, I'm old. That's better. Day four, he told me he loved me. He didn't mean to, and he was so embarrassed, but honestly, I was like, yeah, I love him too. Obviously, I'm not gonna say that back, but I do. 2 weeks later, like literally, I was debriefing to my girls how I think the date went. And they were like, will you ever see him again? I was like, I don't know. He literally calls right then. He's like, I just booked a ticket to Fresno. I wanna meet your parents. 2 weeks after that, I was in Oregon meeting his family and his best friends. 2 weeks after that, he's like, let's just visit New York. Let's just see what that's like. And if I love it, cool. If I hate it, at least we know. He came to New York. Within a month after that, I was on vacation with his family. And from vacation, we're in the airport and I'm looking at him, I'm like, wait, where are you going? He said, I'm going back to New York with you. I'm going back to New York with you! And just like that, we knew each other for 3 months. 3 months before he picked up and moved his whole life to New York City. Andrew Weiss, he had his career on his laptop, his belongings in his carry-on, and his heart in my hands. We got through the rest of the year, hanging out, chilling. And yes, we did fight, but whenever we fight in the bathtub. My mama's gonna be mad that I said that. 11 months after we initially first met, it is now my birthday. And I'm doing a cabaret. I let him direct it, whatever. I'm like, I don't need him to direct it, but I just want him to feel involved. He actually had some good ideas. I was like, oh, it was wonderful. He was able to plan some things. He made sure he was like coordinated with me. At the beginning, I was like wearing my 90s stuff and he had on his little jean 90s outfit. And then when I made a costume change, he made a costume change. Now everybody up in the audience, they were like, oh, what's happening? And at the end of the show, he proposed. Had I known, I wouldn't have worn the ugly shoes. He totally hijacked my whole birthday. Nobody remembered a single song. I don't even remember what I sang that night. Nobody cared. I mean, honestly though, it was like the best day freaking ever. Like I love proposal videos. I love proposal stories. I don't care if you were my arch nemesis in elementary school. If I see you get proposed to online, I am just so happy for you. I am crying. I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. Maybe she wasn't so mean. Like, I love it. I just love love. I love love. Oh, also, like, as soon as he popped the question, it was Operation Get Down the Aisle, because there's 1,000,001 things that can come up between the time you get engaged and the time you get married. There's a jillion things that could happen. We gotta focus. Months. We planned a wedding in 7.5 months. First dress I ever tried on, bought it, loved it. I was like, oh, that's the one. This is the second dress I ever tried on, didn't buy it, and then was on the hunt to look for it for the next 3 months. Oh my goodness, this was my reception dress. And also shout out to John Kristiansen and team for totally reimagining this dress. I got it from Kleinfeld's, and when I got it, have you ever seen the show Say Yes to the Dress? The girl Panina Tournay, who's always up on the show, she was in the store, and there's a Panina Tournay at John Kristiansen. I literally didn't even try it on for them. I just told them like what my vision was, and I dropped the dress off. The next time I came in, it was completely deconstructed. I was like, oh, John, how did we get here? He was like, we got your measurements from Broadway, so we just started. We just got started. I was like, cool, all right, that's cool. Okay, planning a wedding can be stressful. I have friends who are planning weddings right now. I planned my own wedding, and I did take in the input of my husband. I was like, I'm gonna get married in church. He was like, I feel like we should get married on a rooftop. I'm like, cool. In his mind, he didn't have this conversation with me. He was like, if we love this venue, when we went to go check out venues, we gotta like act like we don't love it. That's what he was thinking, but he didn't tell me that. So we walked into Tribeca Rooftop, and we got to the rooftop. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. Oh, and I'll walk down here like this. Oh, and then the crepes will be over here, and the sushi bar will be over here. He was like, it's okay. At 7 a.m., the room was filled with 17 people. It was chaos, but it was the best kind of chaos, and it was good energy. I did a first look with my dad first, and while I'm doing a first look with my dad, my future father-in-law, he just came from walking the Brooklyn Bridge. He's doing tourist stuff. He's living his life. He walks through the lobby and he sees me. He's like, wow, cool. And then he keeps walking. I'm like, this is awesome. I knew I was just being ushered outside into the streets of New York. We did our first look in the middle of the street, which meant cars were honking, people were on the sidewalk taking pictures. I'm like, oh my God. There was a wall of photographers, and then my dad decided to bring his own camera. I'm like, Dad, we hired 2 photographers, the BRENIZERS, who are amazing, and 2 videographers, Tessie, Tokash, and friends. They have it handled. And my dad was like, but just in case, I've got my own camera. The moment I walked down the aisle, I felt like I stepped into a vortex. My dad's on my left. We go with the aisle, somebody fluffs my dress, Miss America, literally Miss America 2010, my wedding planner. And I look over at my dad and I'm like, you ready? He said, okay. It was a perfect day, a perfect moment. Everything was perfect. What does perfect mean? Because plenty of things went wrong. But the main thing that went right was the feeling of love. A great wedding is the icing on the cake, because it's really about the marriage. I have planned and plotted to do everything I could to land the man of my dreams. And every single time, it never worked out. It didn't work out. And then Andrew comes along in a way that I could not have planned in a million years. God was like, I got you. And if you have not found your person, hang hang in there. There is nothing wrong with you. You are so loved by unseen forces and by the people in your life, whether you know it or not. Just hang in there. And when God sends an answered prayer and it don't look like what you thought it was gonna look like, just give it a beat. If something feels right, even if it doesn't make sense, just let it keep going for a little bit. And if something looks perfect and doesn't feel right, shut it down! Shut it down! So excited to celebrate my first year anniversary with Andrew Weiss. Thank you for watching. We interrupt this regular scheduled programming for an episode about love.
Andrew,
I, Felicia,
take you, Felicia.
take you, Andrew, to be my
husband.
my husband,
To be my wife,
my partner in life,
my one true love.
and my true love.
I will cherish our friendship
And love you today, tomorrow, and forever.
and love you today, tomorrow, and forever.
I will trust you and honor you
I will laugh with you and cry with you
through the best and the worst,
through the difficult and the easy.
whatever may.
Whatever may come, I will always be there.
I will always be there,
As I have given you my hand to hold,
so I give you my life to keep. After we got down the aisle and we went to the bridal suite, we were like, oh my God, we just did that. 20 minutes in, my mom comes into the bridal suite. She just comes right on in. She's like, whoo, it's crazy out there. Am I right? Mom, we could have been having sex.